I'm waiting for the host.
Good morning and welcome to WeServe Community Development Corporation here on Saturday, August the 12th in the year of 2023. And we are grateful that you've taken time out of your schedule to join us on this afternoon or this morning for our free financial literacy workshop. WeServe, our mission is to serve families, meet needs, and build communities. Our mission is to equip people within our neighborhoods with the necessary skills and resources needed to build a stronger and better community. We partner with businesses throughout the Northeast region and actually throughout the United States to distribute food, offer classes and workshops, reading material, and other services needed to support the community. Back in June of 2023, which is just a couple of months ago, we partnered with the Virginia VP3 Health Awareness team for the state of Virginia. And they've allowed us the ability to initiate a new program at WeServe called WeCARES. WeCARES, the mission, because of COVID insecurity or because of the COVID-19, food insecurity is at an all-time high, emotional distress is at an all-time high, financial instability is at an all-time high, unemployment is at an all-time high, and people and individuals need assistance to be able to get themselves back on their feet. And so again, our mission is to serve families, meet needs, and build communities. And we're doing that through this new initiative called WeSerVE Cares, or WeCARE. This program will aid in mitigating the lasting effects of COVID-19 by partnering with businesses and faith-based organizations to provide critically needed services, resources to children and families with low socioeconomic communities who are deficient in support. Today, we're focusing on financial literacy. And in our financial literacy focus, we want to know, are you retirement ready? Are you retirement ready? You might say, I'm not retiring for 15, 20, 30, 40 years, but it's never too early to begin to prepare for your retirement. And so whether you're young or seasoned, you're new in industry or been in the industry for a very long time, it's never a bad time to begin preparing for your retirement. We are partnering today for this workshop with Will Way Community Enrichment Corporation. They're our facilitators, our industry standard leaders on financial literacy, and especially in the area of retirement readiness. Our workshop facilitator today is Renix Graham. And brother Mr. Renix Graham, we are now in your hands.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Thank you so much, Mr. McCowan. I'm grateful for this opportunity to be a part of this initiative to educate the community on financial literacy. And today we're going to be talking about retirement readiness, preparation for retirement readiness. And the aim and purpose of retirement readiness is to prepare and to make young people of all ages, aware of having multiple streams of income at retirement. And some people ask, okay, what is multiple streams of income? Of course, it sounds simple, like, oh, silly question, but no, people really need to know what about multiple streams of income? How does that work? Multiple streams of income is not one stream of income, but is two or more that creates multiple streams of income. No one cannot survive in these days and times with only multiple one stream of income, pardon me. The goal, like I said, I have in my mind is multiple streams, but no one can survive off of one stream of income. You're looking at inflation, you're looking at prices going up and sky high interest, and there's a lot of changes, and trying to survive off of one stream of income is just not enough. And so the second aim and purpose, we want our quantity amounts of multiple streams of income to match the same amount of income we made during our career. And no one desires to work for eternity. I don't think so, right? No one wants to have to return back to work. Talking about retire, rehire, we'll touch more into that part as well. But we want to live comfortably. That is the aim. That's the purpose and the goal of retirement, is that we want to make the rest of our lives the best of our lives. And so just a little introduction about myself as the financial literacy facilitator. I am your host today, Renix Graham. I am a business entrepreneur. I am a senior field manager. I feel like I'm affirming myself, but it's true. I am a senior field manager in the financial service industry, 8 years of experience in the financial service industry as a financial strategist. I am licensed in multiple states, healthcare, insurance, life insurance, as well as annuities and retirement accounts, IRAs, 403Bs, 457s. And I'm excited today to dive into the importance of those tax codes as well. All right, so today on our agenda, we're going to be talking about 3 important topics today, and that will be number 1, the income gap. Okay, we're going to talk about the importance of the income gap. Number 2, we're going to talk about the IRS approved retirement savings options. Okay, what are the IRS allows? What do they not allow? Also, we're going to talk about and conclude with what's called gains below the line investments as well. So that is our agenda on today. Now we're going to start with, it's called the income gap. We're going to talk about the income gap in terms of how the income gap works. Okay. And before that, we're going to recap real quick, jumping a little ahead of myself here. We're going to talk about the 5 pillars of financial strength, just to recap on that briefly. You have the housing pillar, we were talking about the life insurance pillar, the retirement pillar, the education pillar, and also the emergency fund pillar. Those are the 5 pillars that keeps your house standing strong, their financial house standing strong. And so it was a very, very good session that we've had. And so for those who have missed it, feel free to definitely click the link and you'll get more information in depth in terms of how those 5 pillars work. All right. So now we're going to start off with the income gap. Okay, this is the diagram of what it looks like when we do not have a supplemental retirement plan in place. Okay, now with the income gap, what is the income gap? How does the income gap works? Okay, 9 times out of 10, we all will have the income gap. It's what we make now versus what we will make when we do retire. What is our income going to look like when we decide to hang it up, when we decide to call it quits, right? So we would take both of those and compare what we're making now during our career versus what we will make when we do retire. And so the important question is, are you prepared? So as you look in the blue area, the blue column there, that's the income during your career. In that blue column, that is an example of your income, what it looks like with your income coming in that's taking care of your cost of living. And typically, according to the salary schedule, there are raises involved over the course of time. That's why you see the blue column is increasing, is going up over the course of time. And so our income is there to take care of, once again, our cost of living, to pay our bills, pay our mortgage, rent, car note, things of that nature. That's considered our cost of living in order for us to live comfortably. And so during your working years in the blue column, okay, you're automatically contributing to a pension plan like Social Security, like TSP, that stands for Thrift Savings Plan, or TRS, Teachers Retirement System. Now, that acronym for a Teachers Retirement System, it varies based on different states. I'm from California, right? You have something that's called CalSTRS, CalPERS. So every state has a different acronym, but it was always end with retirement system. Okay, so a pension plan, the purpose of that, it helps you to maintain your standard of living in retirement. A pension plan ensures that you receive guaranteed lifetime income for the remaining of your life. All right, now with the income gap in state pension income, now as you enter into the retirement phase, right? When we reach the retirement period, we experience a noticeable decline in income, reducing our income by 40 to 50%. That's close to half of what you were making during your career. And so as the cost of living is on the rise, we discovered that the reduced income is not enough to sustain our source of living. And so with the lowered amount of pension income versus the rising cost of living, there's a space. And as you can see, that space there is called the income gap, or also known as the shortfall, right? So as you can see, you have senior citizens that are at work, right? And without a supplemental retirement plan, the income gap will always remain right there in place. It's not going anywhere if you don't have anything in place. And so the income gap causes retired employees to return to work to make up the shortfall. And so the returning employees are considered a retire, rehire, right? You can see the lady's punching right through the laptop, frustrated. She wants to retire, enjoy the rest of her life, right? And so with the whole diagram here in place, as you can see with the income gap, this is where your self-assessment questions come into play. And questions like this: can I truly afford to live on only 40 to 50% of my career income? All right, so let's say you've been making $60,000 a year and you're comfortable living that $60,000 a year lifestyle. Can you afford to live off of half of that, 30,000 or 25,000 or even 20,000? It just varies based on your years of service working for whichever industry, right? Is that enough to be able to sustain your cost of living off of 40 to 50%? Another question you must ask yourself, okay, prior to today, have I been out there looking for other supplemental retirement plans? Have I been out there seriously been on the hunt looking for ways to supplement that gap? All right. Next thing is, what exactly have I done? Like where have I been? Why am I here? Where am I going? So what have I done to solve the gap? I'm going to have the gap. That's evident. The gap is going to be there. But what have I done to actually solve that gap, to fill that gap up? And also ask yourself as well, what is preventing me from filling the income gap? What's standing in my way? 9 times out of 10, we could be our own worst enemy, standing in our own way, right? Or it could be other circumstances. But this is where true financial self-assessment comes into play, by asking those questions. Even asking questions of have I thought about what would happen if I don't do anything about supplementing my gap? Got to think of the consequences. What is consequences? Consequences are the results, whether good or challenging or not good, good, bad, or ugly. What is going to be the consequence if I don't do anything about filling up that gap? Okay. Or what am I going to do if nothing changes, if I'm only solely relying upon my Social Security, or solely relying on my TRS, or solely relying on my TSP for the next 10 to 15 or 20 years? Time is ticking. Time is a forward impulse. So you have to ask yourself these questions, and these are considered consequence questions. It's uncomfortable, but once again, it's necessary to ask yourself these things. Okay, what am I currently doing to be able to fill that gap up? And have I thought about what would happen? Have I imagined what would life be without having a supplemental retirement plan in place? All right. So now what? What is the solution to solve my gap? What can we do? Right. All right. So we figure out, okay, we don't have enough income. The cost of living is going up. All right. I'm realizing I'm only going to be getting between 40, maybe 30, 40, 50% of my income. That's not enough. So, Mr. Graham, what can I do to fill up that gap? All right. So right here, as you can see, this is a detailed breakdown of the simplified investment engine breakdown. We have 3 different areas here, and these are the code numbers that at the top, as you can see, those are your taxes, the way, or your tax codes, the way Uncle Sam will tax you according to your respective industry. All right. For some who may not know, what is a tax code? What is a tax code? Basically, taxes fund a government's operation by levied on people, businesses, and other entities, and on transactions like property sales that fall under its jurisdiction. So each code is assigned to a specific industry. So we'll begin with the 401k. As you can see, the 401k at the top. Corporate America companies like your Microsoft, you have Amazon, Walmart, McDonald's, Exxon, they provide 401k retirement benefits for you. So, you're not obligated to, put into a 401k. Like, do I have to put into a 401k? You're not obligated, but I highly, highly, highly recommend that you do. 401k is a pre-tax qualified plan that is tax deferred. That is a plan that is offered by your employer through the IRS. And what the qualified tax code is under the rules and regulations of the IRS. And so the benefits of having a 401k, you have a greater flexibility in your contributions. Employees may contribute more to the plan contingent upon the limitations of the IRS. Different tax codes do have contribution limits. So it's all contingent upon what's permissible by the IRS. Also, you have optional loans and hardship withdrawals, and they add flexibility for the employees as well. You can increase your contribution, decrease your contribution, start or even stop. You have a little bit more of sense of control in the 401k. All right. Next one we see here is the IRA. That is the individual retirement account. Now, companies in corporate America, they do offer IRAs to employees just in case they do not offer 401ks. And so an IRA is also a pre-tax qualified deferred plan that is by the IRS. And so the IRA is a qualified tax code. And here's some of the benefits regarding the IRA plans here. The IRAs they have tax advantages. They actually have more investment options versus the 401k plans. IRAs have more flexible and liquidity as well. They also offer and have lower fees than 401k plans as well. IRAs also have low annual contribution limits. They sometimes have early withdrawal penalties, but once again, it's all contingent upon the rules of the IRS. All right. So that's the way the IRA works there. Now we're going to touch on the 403B or 403B, as they will call it. You have public schools, you have nonprofit charities. Those nonprofit organizations, they offer the 403B plans. And the plan works like a 401k plan for the for-profit companies. But in the 403B plan, employees, they can save some of their funds. They can be able to save up for retirement, take advantage of the benefits that they have in the 403B, which caters towards the nonprofit sector. Once again, schools, you have churches, you have hospitals, certain charities, they're able to and eligible to be able to put away into the 403B plan as well. Now, what are the benefits of a 403B retirement plan? All right, there are tax advantages. For 403B accounts, they have the same tax advantages as the 401ks as well as the IRAs. It's considered pre-tax. And so you can get a smaller tax bill this year if you pay taxes on your contributions or tax-free withdrawals if you choose a Roth 403B as well. So you have a choice between a 403B pre-tax or Roth 403B post-tax. That's also another benefit and another option for you as well. Also, 403Bs have high contribution limits. There are higher contribution limits for 403B accounts versus your 401ks, and they're, of course, on par with IRAs as well. 403Bs also give you the opportunity for employer matching. Like the 401k plans, the 403B plans also offer to match some of their employee contributions. So every company has its own rules about matching employee contributions. So if your company has a matching program, you can definitely consult with your HR department as well. In addition to it, there's a couple of more benefits with the 403B. There are shorter vesting schedules. All right, you have vesting schedules that determine when your employer matches your contributions. Okay, it could be 5% match, 10% match, 25% match, 50% match. It's all contingent upon what the policies and procedures of your company. So it varies there. But there's a shorter vesting schedule as well in terms to you getting access to your accumulation value and what you have in your 403B. Also, you have, it's called extra catch-up contributions. where participants in 403Bs can make up to $3,000 per year to their accounts if they've worked for the same employer for the next say 20 years or more. 3,000 may not sound like much, but it's something. There's some companies that will put 5,000. They would also give you 10,000 as well to help accelerate your savings in your savings account. All right, now we got the 457B. The 457B, your governmental jobs, you have your state, your county, your cities. A lot of tax exempt jobs offer the 457B plans for their employees as well. 457B plan is also a non-qualified plan. The word non-qualified, you're thinking, okay, non-qualified, everybody wants to be qualified, but non-qualified is not a bad thing. Non-qualified actually is a very good thing. Non-qualified means that you're not subjected under the rules and regulations of the IRS, which gives you more wiggle room. Say if you want to put in more than $6,000 a year, more than $25,000 a year, $30,000 a year, there's no limitations in terms to what you could put in regarding the non-qualified plan. And so for non-qualified tax codes, once again, it gives you more freedom, it gives you more liberty. And so some of the benefits of the 457B plan, taxes on your contributions, such as interest and dividends, are deferred until you withdraw the money. So at withdrawal, taxes are paid on the credited interest. So you're paying taxes on your earnings versus your principal, which is a pretty cool thing there. You have more principal than you would have gained interest. So you're paying taxes on the interest, but not on the principal. So you have just enough cushion room to enjoy your principal accumulation value at retirement. Also, we have the Roth IRA. The Roth IRA are offered by almost all brokerage firms, all companies offers that Roth IRA option as well. So you have the Roth IRA accounts. They are available at lots of online brokerages and some others that are maybe better than others as well. Employers don't offer Roth IRAs to employees, so it's a non-qualified retirement plan, and as well as far as with the IRA, however, it can offer nearly the same tax benefits as qualified plans as well. Here are the benefits regarding the Roth IRA plan as well: is you get tax-free growth, so you're not taxed on your accumulation. Okay, you can take tax-free withdrawals in retirement, and you can decide when and if and how you can take withdrawals. So there's no limitations on how much you can take out, right? So that's the benefit of that as well. You may qualify for additional tax credit as well. So you can be credited, perhaps if any taxes are paid, they make sure they credit that right into your Roth IRA when you file. All right. Also, your beneficiaries, they won't be taxed on the income from your Roth IRA. So should anything happen, God forbid, there are funds inside. There are an accumulation account that's also not only accumulation account, but there's also a death benefit for your beneficiaries. When they're getting income or when they're getting some money from your Roth IRA, no taxes are owed to the IRS as well. And lastly, we have the IUL, that stands for Index Universal Life Solutions Plan. Now, IULs are offered by almost all independent life insurance companies, brokerage firms, and other investment companies as well. IUL accounts are available at a lot of online brokerages in that area as well. So in general, the Index Universal Life Solution Plan is considered permanent. That means it covers you for the rest of your life. It lasts for the rest of your life. Another benefit of that is that you accrue cash value over the course of time. And it's different from other universal policies that grow cash value through non-equity earned rates, right? So without any of the additional credited interest that you get, you have a lot of different life insurance companies that gives you the accumulation in your cash value, but they don't allow or offer the interest in addition to that as well. The benefits of the IUL, it provides higher returns, higher credited interest as well. You can determine how much you want to get back on your return interest. You have options in terms to different allocations S&P 500, you have your Dow, your NASDAQ, you have your Bank of America Merrill Lynch. So those are just different stock market entities that you can be able to put into that as well. All right, now we're going to start with number one. All right, I'm sure you saw the three options there regarding the investment. So number one, you have the variable. Okay, the variable is an account where it takes full participation in the stock market. Okay, it takes full participation in the stock market. So you don't really have much control. As you can see, you have mutual funds, you have stocks. The mutual funds and stocks, both of those is what makes up the variable, right? So as you're putting your funds away, okay, you're saving, and in your mind, you say, hey, I'm putting money away. I'm putting tons and loads of money away, right? But little do we know that it performs with the stock market. You have multiple fees are involved. You have your M&E fee, right? You have your admin fee. You have your custodial fee. There's a lot of fees that are involved with that. So you're paying fees as well as your funds are being at risk with the performance of the market. There's no control as well, which means you can see the green line. You have the blue line. Green line signifies the market is going up. Awesome. That's great. Then you have the red line that signifies the market dropping and going down. So as the market goes down, that's the most important part. You have no control. You cannot stop it. You cannot say, hey, hold up, time out. Let me save my funds. You know, I don't want to lose any money. Nobody wants to lose their money. The goal is to save. Everybody wants to be in the green. But the fact that there is no control, your funds can go subject to the way the market performs. There's no guarantees as well. And as well, there is risk involved, right? So this is considered Las Vegas. Variable, this column right here is considered Las Vegas. You're gambling your life savings with the hopes that you're able to gain money. Now, you so happen to call your company. You say, okay, you figure the market is doing well or the market has dropped. You just so happen to give the company a call. You want to do your annual checkup, right? Your financial health checkup. How is my funds doing? How is it, performing? And the guy tells you, they say, oh, well, Mr. McCowan, I'm sorry, but you've lost 15,000 due to COVID 2 years ago, right? Or the banks had crashed in Silicon Valley, and that took effect over your earnings there. I don't think Mr. McCowan will be too happy, right? I wouldn't be happy. I wouldn't be too excited about it, right? So you're thinking, okay, you know what? I need to get my money out of here. I need to move my money. But the company's going to call and say, hey, wait, hold on, Mr. McCowan, wait, don't move your money. This is what we'll do for you. So instead, we will place your money into a fixed account. The fixed account says, okay, it does not participate in the market. The market goes up. Okay, you may get a little gains based on the interest or whatever it allows. Most importantly, if the market crashes, if the market goes down, you don't lose all of what you save. Great. However, with the set flat interest rate, principal is guaranteed, great. But with the set flat interest rate, you're looking at between 1% to 3%. And that's really not much. You may as well put your money in the bank, being honest with you. But with those 1% to 3% rates, let's start with 1%. And we're going to go by this calculation called the rule of 72. The rule of 72 says that if the market was at 1%, how long would it take for my 10,000 to reach $20,000 in value? How long would it take to see my value double within a time frame? Well, you take 72, right? You basically times that by 1. That will be 72 years to see your money double. 72 years. I'm 40 years old. I do not have that much time ahead of me. So you're looking at real slow growth. 3%. What happens to my funds if the market goes up to 3%? Okay, it's at its maximum at 3%, but how long would it take for my value to double at 3%? You're looking at between 24 to 36 years to see your money double in value. So of course, you're not paying fees. Your principal is guaranteed, but you're seeing very slow turtle speed growth in your accumulation value. All right. And so this is something that what we advocate for employees or staff members. Okay. We always support is called the fixed index, which is number 3, where your funds do participate in the market. And also it's protected because there's a floor. So with this number 3, it's the best of both worlds. So you have the variable and you have the fixed combined together, which makes the fixed index. So your funds are in place, right? So you take part of the stock market gains. So as the market is increasing, right, you're going up, but you're never going down. So you have that floor and it says 0%. Well, 0%, what is 0%? 0% is your interest rate. That's your credited interest of what it will be paid to you. So perhaps if the market tanks, if the market drops, you have that floor that's keeping your money in place, which means you don't lose a dime of your money. So that means that your 0 is your hero. That's awesome, right? So while everyone else is losing their funds trying to play catch up, you have that floor that's keeping your accumulation value in place, which means you don't lose a dime, you do not lose a penny, all of what you earned as well. All right, your principal in accrued gains is guaranteed. That's the key word. That's one of my favorite words in finance, guaranteed. We want to make sure our retirement is guaranteed, right? Your TRS, your Social Security, those pensions are guaranteed, but we want to make sure what I'm putting as a supplement is that guaranteed as well. So your principal and accrued gains are guaranteed because of that floor. As you can see, market drops, you still maintain your value there in place as well. There's minimal to 0 fees involved. As far as with having to pay a whole bunch of fees, you don't have to pay a whole lot of fees, maybe 1%. It just depends on the company and what they allow and what their benefits are. Also, there's 0 risk. Why is there 0 risk? Because of the floor. I feel like today I'm talking about the floor. The floor is very important, it's vital, but there's 0 risk involved. You can sleep good at night knowing that while NASDAQ, while S&P 500 is in the red, as they would call it, the bear market, right? Bear means that the market is going down. You're still remaining in place until the market becomes a bull market going upward. You will increase as well, but you remain at that place, which means there's 0 risk involved. And most importantly, 100% savings security, right? I mean, that last bullet point, that's pretty much self-explanatory. Is 100% savings security. You don't lose. Practically all the bullet points are saying the same thing. You don't lose anything, but you also gain, right? So that's how that works with the fixed index. Now, I want to just show you just a diagram, and we're just looking at it from one of the most important era between 2008 all the way to 2017. This is called the gains below the lines. So we have the blue line and you have the red line. All right, you have 2 investors who have 100,000, and this is a prime example, a realistic example. They put in funds for themselves, and the purpose is to gain money, right? To save money, but mainly to gain. And so the red represents the variable. It represents the S&P 500. It represents the risk side where there is no floor. And so in 2008, as we all recall what happened, that was when the housing market took place. Okay, they lost nearly $39,000 to $40,000 of their investment. Mind you, you worked hard for this. You put all these years you've been putting away for yourself just to see your money go down to close to $40,000 being minus in the negative. Is that fair? No, it's not, right? And then, of course, 2009, the market is able to catch up. There's some improvements there in 2009, 2010. There's improvements on to 2011. 2012, as you can see, you're getting real close back up to the black line. That's the area of your original investment. 2013, we're seeing some success there as it continues to grow, going up. 2014, 2015. So the market slightly went down from 140,000 down to 139,000. All right. And now going from 2015 to 2016, okay, we're getting some increases. We're seeing some leaps here, going to 152,000. And then, of course, it makes a massive increase in 2017. So there's gains and there's losses, right? It's not always bad with the variable, but there's a lot of speculation involved. And that's going to require a lot of attention from you to have to see how is the market performing, because my money is tied to the market. All right, so that's the red line. Now you have the blue line. Most importantly, that year was when the market crashed, and that was the housing market, the real estate market. Okay, The blue investor with the 100,000, they still were able to maintain their value. They were still able to maintain what they have. So although everyone else has lost 40,000, you were still able to maintain your 100,000 based on the accumulation value. All right. Now the market, of course, improves a bit. Once again, as the entire market as a whole, the whole economy, the S&P 500, as it all increases, you're increasing as well. You're going from 100,000 to $111,727. Not much of a gain. It's not much, but I always tell my clients, hey, something is better than nothing. I would rather have 111,000 than to have 75,000. Just a side note here, okay? Just imagine, we'll start with $100. You put $100 in the market. If the market drops by 50%, you've lost half of your money, which means now your value decreases down to $50. So you have $50 left and you lost the other $50 due to the decline of the market. How much would it take for your money to go back to $100? Of course, a lot of people will say, oh, I just need 50%. No, you don't need 50%. You need 100 or 110, 125%. Because if you're saying you only need 50% to make that money back, that means that you're only going to make half of that $50 back, which means it's $25, which means it's $75, you're still in the red. So as you drop, you're like in Seeking Sand having to play catch up, right? So you would need up to 100% in order for you to get your $100 back or to get more, a little bit more than that. So it's the same thing here. In 2009, you have 111,000 versus 75,000. They have a lot to catch up. Once again, the sinking sand, they're below the black line. 2010, as you can see, 118,000, they're at 85,000, right? So we're still moving right along. All right, market, it slightly decreased. So the good thing is, once again, the floor is still the same from 2010 to 2011. Your value is still the same. Market lost, but what have you lost? Nothing. You haven't lost a penny of your money. That's the importance of that floor. Zero is your hero. Going from 2011, 2012, 118 to 126,000 to 145,000 to 153,000, right? Market takes another decline. You have that floor still in place, which means your accumulation value is still the same, right? Market takes a loss. What have you lost? Not one penny, or as they say, not one red cent. Market increases, goes up again. You're going from 153 to 161,000. Okay. So as you can see, there's a lot of steadiness there because of that floor to keep that keeps your value in place. And of course, the market goes up to 176,000. So that's the performance of the blue line, right? You have what we call speculation, the red line, versus consistency, which is the blue line. Because of that floor, that's what's holding your funds in place. So I will always ask my client, all right, so which one do you see being the most important line between the two? Of course, everybody will say, of course, the blue line makes sense. Now, you have, I think Mr. McConnell said earlier, you have a lot of young people says, oh, I'm young. I don't have to, put no money away. I don't have to, I got plenty of time ahead of me. Let me tell you, time is of the essence. It is a forward impulse. It does not go back and retract. There was many times that my co-worker, and we both are from Will Way, we will go out to serve different communities, to do luncheons and talk to them about retirement. And I can tell you, an elderly lady she came up to the table and she says, hey, what are y'all are here for? I say, oh, we're here to talk about retirement. And she says, oh my goodness, I'm so glad you're here. But, I want to help encourage these other people to really get serious about retiring. And she started crying. She started sobbing. I said, okay, are you okay, ma'am? She says, no, because I have to work for the rest of my life. I did not take time serious when I was younger. I didn't put no money away for myself. And now here I am, and she is in mid 70s. That's up there. She said, I have nothing. So as people were, of course, walking into the room, she was telling everybody, sign up, get you a supplemental plan, because you don't want to be, in my shoes. And so that is something that we truly stress in financial literacy, the importance of retirement, of putting something away. And so as a reminder, just going back to these three examples here, the variable, the fixed, and the fixed index, those, once again, are your options of what it would do. We try and figure out what is the underlying investment of my account, how does it perform for me? If I'm putting away into 401k, if I'm putting away to an IRA, if I'm putting away to 403b, if I'm putting away to a 457b, Roth IRA, IUL, it's all contingent upon your profession, right? How does it perform? What does it do for me? And once again, the variable is the risky side. That's the gambling side, right? I tell my clients all the time, you have the little play money left over, go to Las Vegas, play with that, but don't put your life savings in something like that. But it's an option, but that's something to highly consider. You have number two, your fixed. The fixed is where you're putting funds away for yourself, and your funds is saved. You're not losing any money, but you're looking at very small, slow growth, real small, slow growth. And you're looking at years to seeing your money double in value. Then you have the fixed index. Fixed index gives you the best of both worlds, your variable and also your fixed. Both of those combined together will give you the fixed index. And so that fixed index allows for you to participate in the market, but you have that floor where your zero is your hero. We see there, it says the cap. The cap, and I'll explain to you what the cap is. The cap says if the market is at 5% in interest, you're only going to gain up to what the cap allows. So if the market, and being all honest, if the market goes up to 8%, you're only going to get just that 5%, which means you miss out on that 3, right? So I always get the question, okay, so I want to be able to get more than just 5%. If the market goes up to 8, if it goes up to 10%, hey, the cap is in the way. Well, good news, there are some investment companies that don't have the cap, but they do have the floor, which means that you can take the lid off and allow your investment to soar. There's no limitations without the cap. So the cap is an option with that as well. But one thing that's always going to remain, that will never leave you, will never forsake you, and that is the floor, which is the 0%. And so that's the way the simplified investment engine breakdown works as well. And so if you have any questions, if you have any concerns, or you may need some type of a calculation or a review of what you have, these are the different resources here in terms of how you can get in contact with us. We'll be glad to be able to assist you, sit down with you, explain to you where you're at. And our aim and goal is to, show you where you're going. We'll identify some exposures that you might want to start planning for, and answer any questions that you may have regarding your future retirement as well. And we would love to hear from you. Definitely feel free to take our survey. We'd love to hear your feedback, what we will need, anything that more information you may need, or anything that's missed. We'd love to, talk to you and definitely go through some information with you there. But other than that, you all, I thank you all so much for having me a part. Thank you to WeCARE, Mr. McCowan. Thank you for having me to be a part of the financial literacy program. Once again, I am your host, Renix Graham, and I'm turning it back right on over to you guys.